This content is brought to you in association with my buddies over at Jam Jam Cards UK. You can find the links to the eBay store and the Facebook page in the description. Hi guys, Joe here from Rufioh. We got Kev on the channel bringing us a little deck he's been messing around with. He wanted to share it, so here it is. Anything you want to say about the deck before we get stuck in?
No, not really. It's just a lot of expensive fun. It's just, yeah, it's basically an agent build. Waiting for ages for it because waiting for it to be released and goes to the past. It's going to be used in Battle of Chaos. And, well, thought it was going to be a Battle of Chaos turn being goes to the past. Waiting ages for it. Yeah, it's just like a little fun board that can end on multiple negates if you're lucky. You can end on Baron, Master Hyperion, there's like the Impan for the deck, and Prolo Savage, so you can end on like some really good boards. What are they doing behind me?
We're just in a room full of arseholes, that's all. That's really nice. All of them on my team, of course.
You know, I represent that.
Some washed up YouTuber over the back talking there. Right, okay. I feel like this is going to get worse the longer we take, so let's get stuck into the profile.
Let's get stuck in, yeah.
Fire away.
So, for the main, play 2 Master Hyperion.
Yep.
Old school guy, used to love this back in the day. He's just Yugioh. Don't really search him. The main reason I play 2 is because one of them gets dumped with the Hyperion Synchro if I need to. Or it's just helpful to get to the level 10 synchros. I don't play any Xyz or anything in this deck, but yeah, 2 Hyperion, 1 Majesty, which is one of the new guys. This one, he does basically the similar sort of thing, so he banishes an agent card from your graveyard or your hand to special summon itself from either the graveyard or the hand. But whereas with the Majesty, this Hyperion, he does the popping and he can do it twice per turn if Sanctuary's on the sky's on the field. This guy can banish from the grave. So what this guy basically does, he helps manipulate the graveyard for you as well.
Yep.
So you don't necessarily, you can start off your plays going first, they've got no cards in grave, but you can then manipulate all your fairies in, because normally your end goal with this deck is to get all your negates on the field and then a Christia.
Yep.
And then you've
yes, you need the exact number.
Yeah, so you need the exact number. And it's really good because it can banish up to 2 each time. So you can banish 4 in a turn. And when you link climb, it makes it easier that way to get through them. But yeah, he's another level 8.
Sure.
So there's the 3 level 8s which help make the synchro. I play one of the Anus. Best name ever.
Uranus.
But this guy, yeah, 3 special summon if you've got Sanctioned Sky on the field. He manipulates level and he also is a foolish. And he's a tuner. So if you get some cards negated or your plays are stopped, you've at least got an extender.
Yep.
And I play quite a few extenders in this deck to stop that from happening, and most of them are really, really pointlessly expensive for stuff that just literally gets sent to the grave.
Yep.
So that's one extender. Then more agents I play 3 of Earth. Everybody knows what Earth does. She adds an agent card to hand, or if Sanctioned Sky on the field is on the field, you add a Hyperion. But she's literally now, all she gets used for is to add this guy, who is one of the new guys from Ghost of the Past. And what he basically does is he can, if you discard him, special summon an agent from your hand or your graveyard. So he's really good to, when you're manipulating, like if you're sending cards to the grave, like with the Uranus, things like that, you can then special summon them, get going there. And also when he's banished from the grave, you can special summon, you can add a Sanctuary in the Sky to your hand and then activate that. And then 2 of the Venus.
Yep.
So basically what your ideal hand would start off with is something like this, so one of these and one of these, because your hand you can just normal summon this, add the agent, discard this to grave, special summon the agent, get your balls out.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Everyone loves getting their balls
out. Sure.
But yeah, everybody knows what this does. The fact it's not a hard once per turn as well is ridiculous.
Yeah. You can recycle them now.
You can recycle them, yeah, with this guy, this girl. So you got the new Dark Agent. So she does exactly the same thing more or less. So whereas this one special summons from your deck, this one can special summon Shine Balls from your graveyard or your banished zone, and then they get shuffled back into your deck. So you can literally 9, 12 ball people a turn.
Sure.
Which is really, really crazy. So if you can get the loop going, it's really, really cool. The only problem with her is she's got an effect where she can banish this guy on the grave to special summon herself, but then she can't use the other effect, which is a bit of a waste. But like normally you'll summon this in your turn, send this off the Hyperion Synchro, to then recycle, and then you can then special summon this back to keep like replenishing your balls. You can go into like Yugioh, start doing some really fun plays. Shine Ball, obviously you can go with them. We all know what they do. Just get special summoned, start your plays off. So these are the extenders. So you got Lollygaeth, I think that's how you say it. Her job is basically whenever you activate a fairy effect, special summons from the hand. It's also good because if things get stopped, you can at least special summon her again because an effect's been activated. So if they do end up like stopping you in your tracks, you can at least summon a monster, activate an effect, and then you've got, because all you need really to start this deck off is 2 fairies on the field. So that's one extender. Another extender is Chaos Valkyrie. She's a fairy. She banishes a light or a dark, which most of these are. And again, literally it's just used
free summon.
Yeah, to free summon. And then you can banish her to send other cards to the grave. One of my favourite combos of the deck is Trisarachia and Buten with these girls. So if nobody knows what this combo is you normal summon the Diviner, send this, tribute the Diviner with her, special summon this, then she allows you to special summon the Buten. You synchro into your...
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Nice and easy.
You go after that. That's in case you don't have any of the agent plays. And then Buten's really good because while it's in the grave, you can banish it to treat one of your cards as a tuner. So what you normally do is you'll get your Shine Ball, treat that as a tuner, and then you've got one of your level 8s ready to go as well.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So then you can make Baron, you've got the Hyperion, and you've got those level 10s to help you. Or Ruddy Rose is another one I play. But they're some of the extenders. Main end goal. Christia. Card is ridiculous. Still really good, but it's helpful now that you've got more cards to help manipulate the grave. Getting this guy out is so much easier. Because you can add him direct from deck to hand as well with one of the extra deck cards. But yeah, this is your end game is to get at least 1 or 2 or 3 Omni Negates on field.
With that,
and you go crazy. 3 Herald of the Orange, because Herald of the Orange is good. Upset me when Ava went off for this because I was playing 1 Ava in this build, but Ava got killed. But we all know what this does. Negation, and again it helps to dump fairies in the graveyard, so you've got your targets for Christia. Or if you open like a dead Majesty Hyperion, you've got it in the grave ready to special summon it. Free Ash, because Ash is Ash. And that's it for the monsters. Play 1 Sanctuary in the Sky. It's really pointless. Battle damage to a control of a fairy type monster has become 0. But the only reason you're having this is just so you've got an extra bit of deck thinning when it comes to banishing the Neptune out of the grave. You just banish it. Add this to hand, and it allows you to then...
It does make some stuff live as well.
It makes,
I know
it makes a lot live.
A retrained better version, but...
Yeah, well, this is the thing that upsets me. There's one of the cards that got retrained. It's only treated as Sanctuary in the Sky when it's face up.
Right,
It'd be nicer if it could be treated as Sanctuary in the Sky in the deck, because then you could search it with the Neptune and you wouldn't need to play this.
I see what you're saying,
It's just literally an extra out. This card's really good. Sacred Waters in the Sky, it basically allows you to add a card with Sanctuary in the Sky in its text, and you've got so many targets. I mean, you won't ever get this, but you've got your agents. Most of them contain Sanctuary in the Sky in the name, so this contains it in the name. This contains it in the name. These two. And that. So you can add one of these to hand, and it doesn't even have to be monsters, it can be spell traps. And then also when it's in the grave, it can protect these from being destroyed once per turn as well, which is okay. You banish it for that, but yeah, it's really good. And also if you have any, I think it's Hyperion or Agents, because it hardly ever comes up. So you get a 500 for each Hyperion or Agent card on the field.
Oh, okay.
Right, so you get a little bit of life point gain, because this card takes life points away, as do the Shine Balls summoning with the Venus. So this pay 1,000 life points, target 1 fairy type monster in the graveyard, add it to your hand. Then if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can add one of your banished ones to your hand again, so then you can start your replenishing with the Venuses and go a bit crazy. 1 Call By for reasons, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, again for reasons. And that's it for the spells, so 5 spells. Fallen Sanctuary is one of the new cards as well, so basically this becomes a sort of imperm whilst it's on the field. When this card's activated, you can basically add 1 Sanctuary in the Sky or a card that contains it from the deck to your field. So you set this basically for next turn. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow you to activate it the turn you set it,
Yeah.
which would be lovely. Just setting this and then warning people.
But it still gives you options.
Yeah, it gives you an option, but you can also set a Sanctuary in the Sky, or if you're a bit buggered, you can set this ready to add a card to hand. But it also has another effect where you can banish a fairy type from your graveyard, and it basically shuts off an opponent's monster, negates it, which is helpful. Because you don't need to run in perm in this deck when you've got this. And whilst it's face up on the field, it passes itself as a Sanctuary in the Sky card as well.
Sure.
Which is really, really helpful. But yeah, the deck. One of the deck's biggest problems is Flunderies, because if your end game is this, Flunderies is
Just doesn't care, yeah.
Yeah, so I play one Guardian Yatos as well on the side, because that card basically is a win. Free special summon. It's a level 8 as well, so it allows you to start going crazy. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. The extra deck is what you expect. One access code talker. You play a lot of links, so you go crazy with this. One Yugioh, because now when you've got the replenishing of all the shine balls and all the different cards, you can now go crazy.
And you can always get Christian out of your hand with it as well.
Yeah, which is helpful. One Appaloosa.
Yep.
Appaloosa again. Nightmare. Unicorn. Because it's like self-explanatory. One Halka Firebrax. Obviously play a lot of tuners. One Link Spider for when you, obviously, as I always do, open one of the shine balls in your hand. It's just a way to get to it.
Also helps you deal with that nib token that's going to end up on your field.
That buggers you over. And then you've got these two, which are basically the starts of the play. So this is the card you always go to first. So with your 2 cards that get summoned, you use this to send your. It's normally your Dark Hyperion to the grave. It basically is just a foolish for a fairy. It can pop another card, but you don't care. You just foolish this into the grave, banish your target to get this out. Do your graveyard manipulation ready for this to come out. And this card, really, really good. Basically, as normal, you can discard 1 card from the hand to add a card with Sanctuary in the Sky in its text, but if Sanctuary in the Sky is already on the field, you can add any fairy.
Okay,
so you literally add a Diviner, you add a Narshal Christia, you add your Heralds, whatever you need to get yourself going for the next turn.
Sure.
You can basically add it. It also allows you to get cards in the grave for manipulation. It's also got another effect that whenever a fairy is sent from the field to the grave, you can banish. I always forget this one. You can banish one. Oh, you banish 1 fairy type monster from your graveyard, and you special summon 1 fairy type from your hand whose level is higher than the banished card. So if you haven't been able to manipulate your graveyard as you want, you will literally use this card to link off, say, a Shine Ball. Shine Ball, obviously, is level 2. You can just banish a fairy, special summon your Arsenal Christian that way, and you've still got your lock. But this card, is really, really, really good. Love it. It is the main go-to. It's normally, you climb up this into this, because this only needs 2 fairies as well, and this needs 3 fairies. So you can use 2 Shine Balls for this, or 3 Shine Balls even for that. But yeah, you normally use some of the 3 Shine Balls, use 2 to make this, dump your card, use this and then the other Shine Ball to make this, keep doing your plays, get your Dark Guy out, manipulate your graveyard, get ready to get Christian on the field and go crazy from there.
Okay, cool. And no side deck today, is there?
No side deck. I didn't play this today, but
cool.
Yeah.
Just the synchros. Yeah, sure.
Runny Rose, because it banishes cards in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Kind of does hinder you a bit, but when you're against other decks that need to use stuff, you need it for other matchups. Baron, because Baron is Baron.
Yeah.
And you can end up on a really good field board with this. One of the other new guys, Masterflare Hyperion, came on the Ghost of the Past. He's really, really good. So basically what he does is he sends an agent monster or a card that has Sanctuary in the Sky in the text to the grave, and it copies that card's effect.
Oh, sure.
So when you've done your plays, you've got this guy out, you've already used your original Venus, you can then pitch the Dark Venus, go crazy, get the Shine Balls out again, they then get shuffled back into the deck, you go a bit more crazy, summon your Use Skull Dread, draw again, or probably draw another Venus, summon the Venus, special summon the Venus, get the Shine Balls out again, and you just keep replenishing.
Keep going round.
It's also got another effect that when the card effect is activated on the field, it can banish a card on the field. So yeah, it's not negation, but it makes your opponent think.
Sure.
A bit like Berserker of the Tenyu, where you have to sort of work around its banishing effect. It's got the same sort of thing. It just makes your opponent think. It's got a big attack, nice big attack, which is helpful. One Borrowed Savage, because again, it's Synchro and Link Deck. Another guy, which is new, the Executor of the Underworld, Pluto. It's a tuner Synchro, so it comes up with Halka Firebrax. A lot. It's got an effect where it's basically a Book of Moon, on your opponent's monsters, but if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, it's a quick effect.
Sure.
So you can use it over player's turn. It's also got a Sanctuary in the Sky adding effect, but it never gets used. But sometimes it's just good that when you're stuck in a problem, you get stopped, you can get your Halka Flybrax out, quickly use this effect to get this guy out, and then you've got a Sanctuary in the Sky on the field ready to start flipping your opponent's cards face down, stopping their plays.
Sure.
And it's all being 5 is helpful. The other Synchro tuner is Formula Synchron. Because it's Formula Synchron, it's another tune that you can get out of, and it's level 2. So you can keep your climbing up to get to your 10s. And then the last one I play is Entis, because it's a target for Diviner of the Herald as well. You can use it if you're stuck. Hardly ever comes up, or if you're playing a deck which for some reason plays, is it Maximus?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just Maximus fodder, but it's a fairy as well.
Yeah.
And it's a level 4. But yeah, the deck can have some really, really crazy boards. You can end up with, a Baron. You can end up with the Baron, and Krishna on the field. And that's like, they can't do it.
It's pretty strong, yeah.
So you can end up with this with a level 3. This is a banish. You've got your Omni Negate and your Arshal Krishna stopping your opponent, and then you probably chances are you've got a Herald in hand as well in case they do manage to kind of get over everything. But yeah, no, look, the times I played it, it's done pretty well. The first time I played it here, I went 4-1 with it.
Yeah.
Because it's got a lot of recursion, it kind of just keeps going and keeps going. Because before the deck, obviously you've got power crits an awful lot, but when you've got things like Ash,
the new stuff's really good.
Yeah,
as well.
The new stuff just allows you to have more options. If you summon your Earth and it gets Ash, chances are you'll have another card ready to kind of go crazy. And you've got your extenders to do things. So yeah, deck's really, really fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's just crazy because I've literally got expensive extenders for no reason. All their job is to just be sent to the graveyard. Yeah, wasting money on this stuff. But yeah, it's just I've always been a fan of fairy decks. Just love the artwork of half of them. And
Sure.
Agents, back in the day, I played Agents to death. So when they got the new support, I was really excited. It does alright. It doesn't too bad. There's another one you can play. It's like an Agent Punk build, which I was thinking of trying, but at the moment just been having fun with the pure fairy build, which is good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for taking the time to do the profile. Really appreciate it. Any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out to Manascrew, as per usual. Mark for letting us come here and ruin his evenings every day. And the Bedford lot, the Bedford boys as well. They're all here. And shout out to my girlfriend for stealing my cards and
Almost being clickbait.
Yeah, almost being clickbait. We had plans, but we decided against it. That'll come on another video.
Alright, cool. Thanks again for taking time to do the profile. I really appreciate it.
I said the Bedford boys.
If you haven't already, definitely hit subscribe.
The Baron, which is the Baron. That's Brandon's that he sold to somebody. Then I was going to buy it and then bought it back.
We don't talk about
Okay.
We don't talk about that bit, but yeah.
Alright.
Baron, all good.
Alright, thanks for taking the time to do the profile. I really appreciate it. Guys, if you haven't already, definitely hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.